Good day, everyone! Today, Group 1 will introduce you into one amazing era. When you hear the word Romanticism, what comes into your mind? Well, Group 1 is here to help you understand it, especially in its literature. Romanticism is a derivative of romantic, which was borrowed from the French word romance from the 16th century. At first, it only meant like the old romances, but gradually it began to carry a certain taste. Romanticism is an attitude or intellectual orientation that characterizes many works of literature, painting, music, architecture, criticism, and historiography in Western civilization over a period from the late 18th to the mid 19th century. Romanticism can be seen as an rejection from the precepts of order, calm, harmony, balance, idealization, and rationality that typified classicism. And speaking of literature, the Romantic period is a term applied to the literature of approximately the first third of the 19th century. During this time, literature began to move to channels that were not entirely new but strongly contrast the standard literary practices of the 18th century. And that's all for the definition of Romanticism. And to give us history about Romanticism, Joanna will guide the way for you.
Thank you, Eman. After the definition and introduction, let's now talk about history. So what is the history of Romanticism? The 19th century movement, known as Romanticism, arose in Europe in the reaction to the Industrial Revolution and the disillusionment with the Enlightenment's rational values. After the French Revolution in 1789, which brought about new significant social change in Europe, Romanticism arose. Based on the same ideals of liberty, fraternity, and legality, a new movement arose, aiming to emphasize the artist, nature's emotion, and irrational words, as opposed to neoclassicism predominance of reason and rationality.
Hi guys, it's me Rizan and we're back at it again with another video. Today we'll talk about the characteristics of Romanticism and I prepared 5 pieces of paper. I'll pick one by one and I'll explain it to you. So come on, let's start. So I'll pick first. Interest in the common man in childhood. Romantics use the interests of the common man in childhood because they believe that children are pure and vulnerable. Therefore, their childhood inspires beliefs and emotions that cause the heart to soar. For those who didn't know the meaning of common man, let me explain it to you. It means the man in the street, which is very important in Romanticism. It is the time of simplicity, purification. We already got the first characteristics. Now, let's choose another one. Strong sense, emotions, and feelings. Romantics believe that knowledge is gained through intuition rather than deduction. During this period, they believe that the heart and the feelings of the person were more important rather than the brain and the coherent thought. So the third characteristics will be the awe of nature. Romantics stress the awe of nature in art and language and the experience of sublimity through a connection with nature. Also, the awe of nature can be seen in many of William Wordsworth's poems, such as The Gleam of Sunshine. We only have 2 pieces of paper left, so I'll choose this one. Celebration of the individual. The individual who may have been misunderstood in the past has the strength to succeed within him or herself. The Romantics express the achievements of an individual who has been misunderstood or an outcast. So the last characteristic will be the importance of imagination. Romantics legitimize the individual imagination as a critical authority. They also highlighted the healing power of imagination because they truly believe that it could enable people to transcend their troubles and their known circumstances. Therefore, I conclude that the characteristics of Romanticism are interest in the common man in childhood, strong sense, emotions, and feelings, awe of nature, celebration of the individual, and the last one is importance of imagination.
Our first Romanticism writer is William Blake, born on the 28th of November 1757, died on the 12th of August 1827. He was an English poet, painter, and printmaker. Did you know that he was largely unrecognized during his lifetime? But now, Blake is considered a seminal figure in the history of poetry and visual arts of the Romantic Age. His famous work includes The Chimney Sweeper, released in 1789. Next is John Keats, born on October 31, 1795, passed away on February 23, 1821. He was prominent in the second generation of Romantic poets, with Lord Byron and Percy Bysshe Shelley. Though his poems were in only publication for only 4 years, before he died of tuberculosis at the age of 25. They were not generally well received by critics in his lifetime. But, just like Blake, his fame grew after his death, and by the end of the century he had become one of the best beloved English poets, with a strong influence on many writers. His work includes Fancy in 1818, Ode on a Grecian Urn in 1819, and To Lord Byron in 1814. Speaking of Lord Byron, we have George Gordon Byron, 6 Baron Byron, FRS, or known simply as Lord Byron, born on January 22, 1788. Died in April 19, 1824, an English peer who was a poet and a politician. He was one of the leading figures of the Romantic movements and is regarded as one of the greatest English poets. Up until this day, he remains widely read and influential. His prominent works consist of Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, released in 1812, and English Bards and Scotch Reviewers, released in 1809. Another Romanticism writer is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, born on the 21st of October in 1770, passed away on the 25th of July in 1834. He was an English poet, a literary critic, philosopher, and theologian, who, with his friends William Wordsworth, was a founder of the Romantic movement in England and a member of the Lake Poets. His famous work includes The Rime of the Ancient Mariner in 1798 and Kubla Khan in 1860. And now, we have the star of the show, William Wordsworth.
Wow!
Born in April 7, 1717, England, and died in April 23, 1850, in Westmoreland. He was an English poet whose lyrical ballads, released in 1798, written with Coleridge, helped launch the English Romantic movement. His notable works include Lyrical Ballads in 1798, The Prelude in 1799, which is an autobiographical poem in black verse, Tintern Abbey in 1798, a conversational poem that contains elements of an ode and dramatic monologue, and of course, our lesson for today, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud in 1807, a lyric poem by Wordsworth. The poem was inspired by an event of 15th of April in 1802, in which Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy came across a long belt of daffodils. That's all for our Romanticism writers.
Romanticism is considered as the most famous current in literature, and William Wordsworth is one of the most well-known Romantic poets. In his work, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, it talks about nature in a way that an extended metaphor is created. Through the whole stanza, a vivid image is created to the readers, which is directly related to nature. The daffodils are compared to stars on the Milky Way. Through this metaphor, another strong image is conveyed, and the author has now activated the reader's imagination. Lastly, the author now expresses his thoughts and feelings in an emotional and irrational way, just like all of the poets in the Romantic era.
Hey guys, it's me, Maki. So today, we're gonna talk about the conclusion of the poem I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. The conclusion of the poem is that the beauty of hills, valleys, and particularly the daffodils holds a significant position in the poet's heart. According to him, whenever he is alone and sad, the memory of watching those daffodils flash in his mind. He imagines that he is among those daffodils and dancing with them in euphoria. Hence, to the poet, nature is the most important thing in the world. Worldly things do not give us any real pleasure or peace at all. Nature is the only one who can make us happy and joyful. Furthermore, the poem also argues for a strong connection between experience and imagination. The poem itself is a memory, focused on bringing the poet's experience of seeing daffodils back to life through the concentrated power of the imagination. Like nature, the imagination was an integral part of the poetic universe of the Romantics. In this poem, the poet shows the way in such a strong imagination, using the inward eye of our mind, can bring back pleasant memories, create joy in the present, and even pass joy along to others. By that, we're gonna end this video, so don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and also turn on notifications so that you won't miss any videos. And don't forget to leave a comment down below with our hashtag Group 1 Romanticism Blog Takeaways.
I hope you learned something and enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!